My name is Brooke Espenshade, and I am currently a senior softball player at Dickinson College. I participated in the 2022 Snell-Shillingford Symposium and had the amazing opportunity to intern at this year's symposium. Here's a look into this year's symposium. We started off the day with an introduction and learned about the legacy of the Snell-Shillingford Leadership Symposium from Jen Shillingford herself. She talked about the legacy left behind by Eleanor Snell, a mentor of hers at Ursinus College. She finished off her introduction with a quote of how we cannot wait for a storm to pass, but rather learn to dance in the rain. Our first presentation was from Dr. Ellen Strowski, a professor from Ithaca College that discussed the fearless women and their impact on college sport. We discussed the different fearless women that came to our minds, like Simone Biles, Megan Rapinoe, and Serena Williams. After that, we learned about the fearless leadership fundamentals, which are courage, tenacity, and integrity. We also focused on leadership in action. This included learning about vision, culture, prepare, perform, and prevail, and resilience. Dr. S then taught us about some of the pioneers of Title IX, like Bunny Sandler and Patsy Mink. Our second presentation was about being more than a checked box from ESPN reporter Renee Washington. Renee talked to us about how we have a social media profile and a life profile. Our social media profile will include all our accolades and accomplishments, where we went to school, our job, everything that will be seen on our social media page. Our life profile includes all the characteristics that make up who we are and what we don't see in our social media profile. She said that we need to appreciate who we are, but don't let our identities limit us. Renee then talked to us about mindset and how the difference between two people is in their mindset. She ended with the idea that what makes you different is a strength and not a limitation. We were able to hear from head field hockey coach at Haverford College, Jackie Cox, about the many hats of coaching. Coach Cox talked about all of the responsibilities, hats, that coaches in athletics must do or wear. These hats included being a leader, a coach or mentor, a counselor, a recruiter, an admissions rep, the account manager, an IT person, an advocate, a service coordinator, and a student. Coach Cox explained each hat or responsibility in detail. We were also able to hear from some of the coaches and mentors that were in the room. Throughout this presentation, we learned that coaching is way more than X's and O's. The final presentation of Day 1 was from Dr. Amy Wilson from the NCAA, all about Title IX. Dr. Wilson started off her presentation by talking about her mentors and the pioneers of Title IX, Dr. Charlotte West and Dr. Christine Green. The participants played a true or false game all about Title IX. Some of the surprising finds during this game was that Title IX covers 10 areas: access to higher education, athletics, career education, education for pregnant and parenting teens, employment, learning environment, math and science, sexual harassment, standardized testing, and technology. After looking at some of the data of women in sports and how Title IX has impacted that data, we learned the basic rules of Title IX to understand the complex law better. There are 3 basic parts of Title IX: participation, financial assistance and scholarships, and treatment or benefits, the laundry list. Most of the focus in this era, we learned, is on the last part, the treatment and benefits. Dr. Wilson also talked about how this year was the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and how the 37 words of this law has completely changed sports forever. To start Day 2, we heard from Anna Beth from Athlete Ally on the current state of women in sports. Anna shared a bunch of data with us about girls and women in sports. She also provided where the Centennial Conference and each school within the Centennial Conference is within this data. To end the presentation, Anna shared her story and different resources that participants could use to help them prepare for whatever they may want to pursue, whether in athletics or just in life. The final presentation of the day was from Vice President and Director of Athletics at St. Joseph's University, Jill Bodensteiner. Jill's presentation was like Renee Washington's in the sense that she believes we have a social media story and a real story. She discussed how self-awareness leads to being confident in yourself and your abilities, which allows you to be at your personal best, which gives you the opportunity to lead and have great leadership qualities. She quoted from the book Confidence: How Winning Streaks and Losing Streaks Begin and End by Rosabeth Moss Cantor. The first was the definition of confidence being positive expectations for favorable outcomes. And the second was failure and success are not episodes, they are trajectories. Jill shared her story and then gave us some tips and tricks on how to build and regain confidence within ourselves. The last part of the day was the Women in Sports panel. This panel consisted of Danielle Lynch, Director of Athletics at Haverford College, Portia Hoig, Executive Commissioner of the Centennial Conference, and Aaron Strobel, Director of Athletics at Ursinus College. During this time, they each discussed their journeys of being women in sports and how they got to where they are today. When thinking about the symposium and hearing from all the amazing women that took their time to come out and speak with the participants, I am inspired. I want to make a difference within athletics being a female. I believe I can make a difference, and I have the confidence that I will make a difference and bring light to being a woman in sport. And I know this because of them and because of her.